Thanks for taking the time to examine our Ventures business plan. You'll see that 16 slides follow, and we hope that you'll find them interesting. The MMJ Land Limited Partnership is the first of two capital raises we'll have. The first will be this MMJ Land's $500,000, which will fund the acquisition of the 138 acres of land that we'll be acquiring, plus some planning and permitting work. Then this partnership, this MMJ Land Partnership, will contribute its land at double its original value for a 14% ownership in the next venture that we form, which will be MMJ Enterprises Limited Partnership, which will raise US $4.6 million to construct and equip a Phase 1 12,000 square foot grow facility, debt-free. And this is a Phase 1 graphic, and you'll see it's identified in that corner of the property. Now, our three MMJ Land venture uses of funds will be to accomplish this property purchase, as you see, and refine that architecture work and complete the formation of the MMJ Enterprises venture. And this is our use of funds for that $500,000. The three MMJ Land investors' preferred positions is you'll receive a doubling of all of your equity capital when contributing your land and planning work to the MMJ Enterprises, and you'll have a right to all of the MMJ Enterprises investors' preferred positions. And in the unlikely event that the Enterprises venture is not formed, you'll have the first right to all the proceeds of a sale of the land to 100% return of your invested capital, and then 50% of any excess, should there be any, from that sale. All that follows now relates to the subsequent MMJ Enterprises Limited Partnership. And you should keep in mind that the value of your land investment will be doubled once the Enterprises venture is formed. Consequently, your potential return on investment will be double the projections that follow. The Enterprises venture's 5 objectives are to actually develop that Phase 1 12,000 square foot facility and target being licensed and fully operational by the end of next year, and to expand to 84,000 square feet within 4 years using internally generated cash and a modest amount of commercial debt. And from those operations, we're targeting providing all investors a 2.8 times or 280% return from the operations. We also have an objective of refinancing the mature facility within 5 years, and we're looking to return to the investors another 400% on their capital. Then we look to sell the venture in 7 years' time for an additional 400% return, which would be a total exceeding 1,000% return to the Enterprises partners. And yours from your land investors' return would be double that. And we estimate the value of the venture at 10% cap rate, and we could actually sell by an IPO depending upon the then existing market conditions. Now, the 4 enterprise investors' preferred positions is that they'll receive 50% of the first year's distributable cash flow, and they'll also receive a 10% cumulative preferred yield on their equity from year 2 onwards, plus 50% of any cash flow from the operations. And you'll have a preferred return of all of your invested equity from any refinancing, and 25% of any excess cash from that refinancing, plus a continuing distribution of 25% of all excess cash flow from operations and from the eventual sale of the venture. Our development plan, as I discussed a bit before, is within that area indicated on 138 acres, and you'll see the graphic for phases 1 and 2 of the 4-phase total that we envisioned for the 84,000 square feet. And as you can see, we've got plenty of land in which to grow our operations and to quickly respond to the opportunities that come from Canada's promised adult use legalization beginning next year. The core team members are myself, Larry Bortles, with my 50 years of real estate investment, development management project experience, and from my partner, Riley McGee, who is a Canadian vet, and he's has 9 years of real estate investment and development and sales experience, a very sharp guy. We've also identified Mary Roeder, who's a 20-year pharmaceutical quality control professional. This is terribly important for us because all of our medical marijuana will be grown and processed and stored within a medical quality environment and to the highest standards, and she's well suited to lead that program. And we've also effectively, part of our team is the Canadian Prime Minister, who's very much a rainmaker for the Canadian cannabis industry. From a supply and demand standpoint, we're projecting a very aggressive increase in the number of licensed producers. In fact, a 524% increase over the next couple of years, with even more of an increase in the actual pounds of medical marijuana produced. And what we've also analyzed and projected is the demand will even be greater than that increase in supply. Currently, there's about a 30% per quarter increase in the number of prescribed medical marijuana users, and we expect the demand will outstrip the supply by the opening date of our facility at any one of these growth rates. Now, the clients that we need to meet the projections, you'll see it's really not a lot. On the basis of civilian requirements, which average about 1.5 grams of medical marijuana a day, we'd need only 569 clients for us to meet our phase 1 objectives, which produces better than $1 million bottom line if we just meet our projections. And phase 2, as you can see, it's 1,479, and going up from there as we grow. Now, better yet is that we need even fewer veteran medical marijuana clients to be successful, because they use 5 grams a day on average, and you can see that phase 1 would be profitable for us with just 171 clients, and phase 2 444. And I believe we've got a very good shot at getting a predominance of veteran users because of my partner Riley McGee's military experience and his engagement with a major aggregator of medical marijuana clientele. Now, we've got a 3-part client acquisition program. We will establish an e-commerce site for the sale of the medical marijuana, and we'll use it to direct potential clients to currently active aggregators so long as we're not in operation. And we're going to favor the MFT group, which is the group that Riley is currently working with. And we've got a current contract with the MFT group that guarantees their purchase of all or just a portion of our future production, as we may elect. And it's at $5.25 a gram, which is actually exceeds our assumptions in our projections. And we'll have a professional online promotion of our e-com website for retail sales once we're open for business. Now, the key assumptions that we've made for our projections, we believe are conservative. And if you just take a time to examine this, you'll see that we're targeting $5 a gram for our sales in 2018. The industry norms are anything from $5 a gram to $15 a gram, and the median is somewhere around 8. Now, I just mentioned that we've got a contract already for selling anything we wish to sell and that we produce at $5.25 a gram. So we're already beating that target. And you might notice our break even is pretty low. It's only $1.95 a gram. The other conservative aspect is we're looking to, on our projections, to only produce 1 pound of premium bud per grow light, when the potential is up to 2 pounds per grow light with the type of facility we're looking to construct. And the average is about 1.5 pounds per grow light. So right there, looks like we're well under what we can achieve. And our plant productivity overall is below what we believe we're really going to be able to achieve. And our operating cost allowance per pound is much higher than the normal range, as you can see there. Financial performance-wise, we expect, with our base assumptions, that each investor in the enterprise venture will have a 660% return on their capital by the 5th year, which again for you land investors will be double. So that would be somewhere in excess of 1,200% return. And by the 7th year with the sale, reflecting what I mentioned earlier, it'd be something in excess of 1,000% return for the enterprise investors and a 2,000% return for the land investors by the 7th year. Valuation-wise, you'll see here in this graph that the valuation goes up as we build the facility. We expect a $14 million valuation when phase 1 is operational, $50 million for phase 2, and you can see as it escalates eventually to a $238 million valuation at the time of a 2024 sale that we've assumed. Now, the capital that we raised, the 4.6 million US capital we raise in the enterprise venture, will be used in the following way, which you see the schedule there. And you should note that we've allowed a very generous US $200 per square foot budget to equip our grow facility with the very best tech available, including CO2 processing. Now, for this venture, we're offering $25,000 US equity units with a minimum of 4 units, and no further equity will be required. I want to thank you for this opportunity to present our business plan, and our contact information is below.